Hello everyone, welcome to Newcastle Fans TV. I'm Will Dixon. I'm here to talk about the England win over Scotland. And before we get on to the actual game, I want to quickly talk about sort of the build-up towards the game. So the build-up was overshadowed by the controversy that FIFA refused England and Scotland to wear poppies on kits or on armbands due to one of their rules that they have on today, which is the 11th of November, the day the game was played, which is obviously Remembrance Day, Armistice Day, remembering all those who gave their lives for our countries. Met with lots of controversy, and a very touching thing was that England and Scotland did it anyway. They wore armbands with poppies on them. Earlier today, England paid their respects at the 11th hour. A very touching thing to see. The pre-match rituals, if you like, where there was the silence, the last post being played. Very, very moving images, and very, very good to see us going against what is said to be right in all for that time of respect for and to remember very, very brave people who died serving their country. So very, very good with that. Moving on to the actual game now. So it was for an England supporter watching it, trying to support England. Quite a nervous start, to be honest. In the first 20 minutes, Scotland were actually the better team, really pressing high, really targeting, especially John Stones, who was having times where trying to play the ball out from the back caused a couple of mistakes, caused a couple of very nervous moments, and it was pretty nerve-wracking to watch. Scotland started far the better. England was struggling to get a foothold in the game, but as soon as they did, they showed their superior quality over Scotland. When Raheem Sterling had a shot, came out to Kyle Walker, crossed it into the box, and Sturridge flicks on the head into the back of the net. A very good goal. And something that was really needed considering how Scotland started the game. Gordon Strachan very much under pressure, really sort of wanted to try and make a statement. And Scotland, I thought, actually played, generally in the game, I thought they played very, very well. And there were some very, very, very good chances that they had to score. But the general consensus of the game was England's finishing. And then goes into the break at 1-0 to England. Second half, again, Scotland started it very, very, very quickly, really bombing people forward, really putting pressure on the ball. But then England came across, Danny Rose crosses it, and Milana heads it in, 2-0. And from there, England really could just control the game because Scotland were having to throw much more people forward. And then it was very, very easy to counter-attack. And then the third goal came in from Wayne Rooney corner, and Gary Cahill put it in. So 3 headed goals for England to make it look a much more comfortable game than it really, really was. Gareth Southgate, the situation with Gareth Southgate means that I think he's much more scared to lose the games, and he really wants the England job. I don't want him to be the England manager, but he very much played it safe, I thought. Played it very, very safe, especially with team selection. He played with 2 deep-lying midfielders in Eric Dyer and Jordan Henderson. Wayne Rooney played as well. Vardy, Kane, Townsend on the bench. Lallana was on the wing. Sterling was on the wing. So to be fair to Sterling, I have given him quite a lot of criticism, especially when playing for England. But today he was probably our most creative player. The fullbacks as well, I have to give good credit for with their assists. Danny Rose and Kyle Walker did play very well. But I always find it difficult to comment about England, especially in qualifiers, because we play teams that really, no matter what we do, we really should be winning. And if you have a look at Gareth Southgate's 3 games, he's beaten Scotland at Wembley. Really, it's a thing where it's like, you can't beat Scotland at Wembley. It's not, an incredible achievement, I have to say. With no disrespect to Scotland, it's a very, the players that we have compared to Scotland's players, we really should be winning the game. We only beat Malta 2-0 at Wembley. We drew with was it Slovakia, or was it Slovenia? I can't remember now off the top of my head. That's how memorable the game was. But it's just all been playing it safe for me, really. I wasn't very sort of inspired by how they were playing. It wasn't very, as I said, Scotland played very, very well and pressed far quicker. They were playing a lot quicker. Henderson and Dyer were very, very slow. Henderson, I don't really rate him, never really have rated him. That's not just because he was a former Sunderland player. It's by the fact that I just don't really see, kind of like really what he offers, to be honest, and that's just my personal opinion. Daniel Sturridge up front looked quite good. Wayne Rooney playing in behind seemed to play a bit of a better game, but again, it just all looked a little slow, little lethargic, a lack of pace. I was surprised to see, but to be fair, I should mention Adam Lallana played. I thought he played with much more energy. He was a very, really starting to close them down. Really, one of the few players in the opening 20 minutes really taking it to Scotland. Joe Hart didn't really have that much to do. Did what was necessary. Was very much a cover for John Stones, who was definitely trying to play that from the back, but was causing a couple of mistakes. And Gary Cahill was really having to try to help him out. Overall, it wasn't the most convincing game I've ever seen England play. Although you could say that for a lot of games that England have played. We beat a Scotland team which is just not as good as ours. At Wembley, 3-0, all coming from crosses. And Scotland, had they had better finishing, they really could have caused us a lot more problems. It was I thought Scotland really gave it a go, which you kind of have to admire them for. And Gareth Southgate, to be honest, I don't really see how he could get the job. If he drew or lost the game, then it would be a massive uproar saying, he should never have anything to do with England whatsoever. But I don't see him as an inspiring character. I don't think he would, take the necessary risks. I don't really see dropping Wayne Rooney as a risk or a statement, to be honest. I think a majority of England football fan base would have dropped Wayne Rooney quite a long time ago. Everyone's got their own opinions, everyone's got their own views. I'm relating it to Newcastle. Scotland had 2 Newcastle players. Matt Ritchie came on as a substitute. Grant Hanley started the game. Missed a free header. I mean, it was a pretty shocking miss, to be fair, from Grant Hanley. But to be fair, for the rest of the game, he was relatively solid, I thought, and was really marking it well. However, he did lose his men on marking, so not the best performance for old Grant Hanley. Matt Ritchie didn't really get a touch of the ball. Came on, I think, in about the 80th minute or so. I'm surprised he didn't start. I think it was James Forrest, I believe his name was. Started instead of Matt Ritchie, missed a couple of sitters, to be honest. And watching Ritchie so far this season, he's been fantastic for us. I'm surprised he didn't start. Gordon Strachan very much under pressure, made a very attacking team. Is that the end for him? I don't really know. But that's my review of the England-Scotland game. Not the best performance I've ever seen, but it's 3 points. We need to get to the World Cup qualifying. Gareth Southgate, to be honest, it wouldn't surprise me if he got the job, but he would not be my first choice. So this has been me, Will Dixon, for Newcastle Fans TV. Make sure you follow us on Facebook, Twitter. Make sure you follow my Twitter at DixonMP4. And I will be seeing you later.